Hey everybody, the Josh and Dewey podcast is back. I know it's been a month, and guess what? We're back, or kind of. Josh is still not here. It's just your boy Dewey Pack. But I brought a special guest with us, our controversial guest from our Thanksgiving pod, Jason Kim. Welcome back.
Hello, thank you for having me again. I'm surprised I'm here, actually.
Congratulations. You know you're our first guest to get us a dislike on our pod. What goes through your mind with that?
It's a great honor, and thank you for letting me have the first dislike. But
yeah, I was debating if I wanted to bring you back because last thing I need is more dislikes. But you have great insight.
You said you like controversy.
I do. You like the Skip Bayless of our pod, so we'll just continue with sports today. So girls, if you are listening to this pod and you don't like sports, you can go ahead and turn this off because the next 30 minutes, me and Jason will just be talking about sports. So the first topic I wanted to talk to you about was, do you remember Baron Davis?
I do remember Baron Davis.
Do you remember how old he is?
Like 40s?
I think
mid-40s?
He's 36, but...
Oh, 30s, that's it?
I mean, yeah, I guess it's not that old, but when we compare it to other basketball players in their prime, that's like really old. And guess who's gonna make a comeback?
No way, is he coming back?
Baron Davis.
What?
He retired 2012, and so that's about a 3 to 4 year hiatus, and he's decided that, I guess, 4 years of being away in basketball. I think he's still been involved in the DLeague, here and there. But obviously, that's not like an 82 game season. But he says he feels better than ever and that he can still play. And obviously, there are some old people that are still in the league.
Right.
I don't know. What are your thoughts of? Or before I guess I go into that, the reports say that Baron Davis is expected to join the DLeague January 20th, where he hopes to display his old man skills and eventually get picked up.
Right.
The reason why he's going to wait until January 20th is apparently because his wife just got their second child.
Oh, congratulations, Baron Davis.
Yes, congratulations. I feel like he's like trying to run away from responsibilities. That's why he wants to come back to basketball or something.
Or he's broke and needs more money.
I mean, that could be. I mean, he made $147 million throughout his whole career.
Oh, wow. That's actually not surprising at all.
Yeah, I mean, he has a lot of money, so I would assume money's not the issue because I was looking this up, and D-League players, apparently, they only make between, $13,000 and $25,000 a year.
Wow.
So
he must really be doing it for the love of the game.
Yeah, it really must be the love of the game. And so I just wanted to see your thoughts of, do you think he still got it?
I mean, he might still have it, but the one thing that I remember about Baron Davis is that he was always hurt, especially during his last 5 or 6 seasons.
I'm glad you brought that up because I have a timeline of his injuries.
Oh, really?
Let me share them with you.
Please do.
Yeah, his freshman year, he torn his ACL landing from a dunk.
Oh, wow.
So that took away the latter half of his freshman year and the beginning of his sophomore year a little bit.
Right.
And so that was in 1998.
Right.
That's his freshman year of college. 2002, he received multiple injuries. I think it was just knees and just other small factors, but it limited him to 50 games. A year later, 2003, similar injuries limited him to 67 games.
Right.
2005, all it said was, when I was trying to research about this, it just said knee problems.
And
then he got surgery again. So I don't know if I don't think he actually tore it because I'm pretty sure they would have actually reported that.
Right.
But he had surgery somewhere, and so that's another injury in 2005. And then 2008, more serious injuries. He even tore his, can't read my own handwriting. I don't think I'm saying this correctly, so I know you were a science major back in freshman year, so correct me if I'm wrong. He tore his ulnar collateral ligament.
Sounds right to me.
And his left finger, and he also has, again, knee problems.
Yeah. Dang, those knees, man.
No, seriously. 2011 herniated disc.
Oh, that sounds bad.
And then finally, what set him off to retire back in 2012 was an ACL, MCL, and partially torn patellar. Am I saying that right? Patellar tendon?
Yeah, patellar tendon.
And so pretty much, I mean, obviously there's a whole, I guess, theme of he has really crappy knees.
Right.
So I don't know why he thinks at the age of 36 it's any better.
Right.
I mean, I know he did have 4 years of rest, but I don't know. Just knowing his it's like you said before, he has had a past of injuries. What do you think about that? Do you think he'll still be able to play at a high level even with bad knees?
I think he can still play at a high level because even before he got hurt, his numbers were pretty steady, even on the incline. His shooting percentages are in the low to mid 40s, which is obviously really good for a guard, especially someone that plays like him because he tends to take a lot of shots.
I'm just a little skeptic if I'm sure a team will pick him up.
Right.
Like for sure, a D-League team will sign him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure an NBA team will give him maybe like a 10-day contract, but
an NBA team will give him a 10-day contract. I know. There's no way he's going to the NBA.
You don't think he's gonna go to the NBA?
No way, dude. He's too old. He's washed up.
You think he's gonna get? You think he's not gonna get to the NBA because he's gonna get hurt, or because he's not gonna be good enough?
Oh man, I think he's not gonna be good enough. But then there's always that thought in the back of my head that he's not gonna like make it through like the D-League season. He's gonna get hurt after like 10 games.
I feel like it won't even get to that point. I feel like it'll be like 3 games into the D-League and someone's gonna pick him up.
Really?
I don't know.
Why,
He still got it.
Why do you think someone's gonna pick him up from the D-League?
I think mainly because this is a team this is a league that really values leadership and veteran skills.
Right.
Especially if you have like a young point guard. I think Baron Davis being behind that young point guard would really be good for him, especially grooming him in maturity and just like I guess really building on those like point guard IQs. And
so you're kind of talking about like a locker room presence.
Yeah.
Kind of someone like
I feel like he'd be good for the Kings.
The Kings?
Because those guys are crazy. And hot-headed Rondo kind of needs old man Baron Davis to like cool him down. And then under his leadership, I think Boogie will learn so much from it and really take it to the next level.
Right.
Baron Davis, I feel like he still has a lot. There's a lot that he can still teach him. And I feel like a team like Sacramento, and they are needing, because Darren Collison, I don't like him. Not saying Baron Davis is the answer, but I just feel like they still need something there. And I think a great veteran like Baron Davis would be great.
Yeah, I can definitely see that because a lot of teams, even though they might not play their veteran point guards like you said, they kind of have them for like that film study and the locker room mentality, especially when like they're on when they're making a run for the championship, they'll sign like an older veteran point guard to help them out with that mindset. So I can definitely see how someone would take a chance on him, but at the same time, I don't know.
You don't see it happening.
I think he's just gonna get hurt right away, just because like his last season he only played 29 games.
Yeah. Coming back from a herniated disc.
Yeah, and so I mean, even then.
So since you don't think he's gonna make it to an NBA team, which D-League team do you think will pick him up?
God, I don't know much about the D-League, but since I'm in Texas, I'm going to say Texas.
That's right, Texas Legends.
I know that's a horrible reason, but
I doubt the Mavs would pick him up because they have way too many point guards. JJ Barea, Devin Harris, Darren Williams, Raven Felton. I guess Baron Davis could fit somewhere in there for veteran leadership wise, but not saying only Dallas can. I don't think it works like that, right? Like if Texas Legends pick up Baron Davis, only the Mavs can sign him. Like anyone can sign him, right?
I think Mavs have priority just because they're affiliated with the Mavs, but I don't think it's like MLB where the next step up is to go to their pro team. I don't think it's like that.
Okay,
but I could be wrong. I don't know much about the D-League.
Yeah, I'm sure people are gonna like hate on this video. Like these guys don't know anything. Just like
who cares? Who cares about the D-League anyway, man? Like, are you serious?
So I guess in the end, you say he's not gonna make it to the NBA, and I say he's going to the Kings.
Yes, I would be very surprised if he makes it past 1 month without getting hurt.
All right, you heard it here, baby. All right, moving on. We're gonna talk about more news with I kept calling the BCS game, and I didn't realize it's no longer called that.
It is not the BCS no longer.
It's just the national championship game.
College football playoffs.
That just...
That doesn't have the same ring to it as BCS did.
BCS just sounds
like
better.
BCS national championship doesn't sound the same as college football playoffs, but I see what you're saying. Yeah. I want to call it BCS too, but
given like the relevant game that just happened a couple of days ago, Bama obviously won, and now we're talking about Nick Saban's legacy.
Right.
What do you think? Do you think he is the greatest college football coach of all time? Not football, but just college football.
Right. I don't know if I would say all time. He's definitely a great coach, but he's definitely a great recruiter because he built Alabama and LSU. He brought them back literally from the grave. Like they were like trash teams, kind of like how like Baylor was in like the early 2000s. Or
was he Was he even known as a great recruiter with LSU? When he was
Um,
there?
yeah, he was known as a great recruiter, but he was mainly known for his defensive philosophies because like that's what he based his team on, obviously.
Okay.
But I mean, greatest coach in college football ever. That's kind of hard to give him that title, but at the same time, I can see why people would give it to him because of his This is his fifth national title.
Yeah. Since I don't know anything about college football, all I
Right.
know is like Nick Saban, Nick Saban, Nick Saban, because he's like
Right.
the highest college coach
Right.
of all time.
Right.
It's like what 10 million or like 10 million a year or something like that.
I'm pretty sure he gets paid more. I'm pretty sure they just raised him like a couple years ago.
Yeah, and since I've started watching college football, most championships I've seen is Nick Saban winning, and so my history is only worth like 5 years. So as far as I'm concerned, Nick Saban's like the greatest coach of all time.
Right. I mean, I think definitely the greatest coach of this century or this this decade for sure, and even since like the early 2000s. Just because not only did he build two programs up, or not only did he build one program, but he built up two programs. And so doing that, especially in a conference like the SEC, where they always had a powerhouse team, because in the early 2000s it was Tennessee and Florida, and then he kind of changed the roles to where Bama and LSU are now always the perennial powerhouses. And so I think because of that, he's definitely the greatest coach of the century, but I don't think of all time.
You know what's crazy too? I didn't realize Nick Saban. So the coaching tree.
Right.
Did you know Nick Saban's under one of the big greats coaching trees? Do you know who he's under? So the coaching
Lombardi?
trees consist of Bill Parcells, Bill Walsh, what is it, Belichick, and then there's like a fourth big one.
Is this surprising?
Who's the fourth one? I forgot who the fourth one was. I mean, I don't think it's like maybe it's not surprising to others, but I was just like I didn't know he was like under his wing, and I was just like shocked.
Is it Belichick?
Yeah. Like, he was like apparently was assistant coach for the Cleveland Browns, and
Oh yeah, he was.
oh, you knew that?
Yeah,
I had
before he went
no
to the
idea.
Dolphins.
Oh yeah, I was just like so shocked. I was like, oh wow, now I know why he's so great. he's been under the greatest.
Yeah, I mean, his teams are always great. And, even though this team was so dominant defensively throughout the year, he called it, he wasn't very happy with his defense at all this year. And
But
so,
wasn't this defense supposed to be the greatest defense he's ever coached?
that's what I heard. But when I was, listening to some people talk about this year's Alabama team, and I was doing my own research on them, I found out that so in the past they had they used to have bigger safeties that would help in the run game, like Mark Barron, and HaHa Clinton Dix. They're all big people. But this year he converted cornerbacks into safeties so that they would help out in the pass game, because just traditionally their pass defense they just purely relied on their corners playing man. So this year they had their safeties help out in the pass game, which helped them a lot. And I think that's one of the reasons why they were able to beat Clemson, is because last year against Ohio State, when they had those bigger safeties, they weren't able to make tackles in space. And Ohio State likes to put playmakers out in space. So it's one-on-one. And so I don't know about best defense ever, but I think
it is one of the better defenses.
it's one of the better defenses. And I think a lot of people think that it is the best defense ever just because it's a lot different from what they've seen. So you usually see safeties 10, 15 yards from the line of scrimmage, but now they're exclusively 10 yards in behind.
So is it more like they're better in the coverage?
Yeah, they're definitely better in coverage. And I'm not saying that they lack in run support, because they do help out in the run game, but they're better. They're more physically suited for coverage.
But do you think, so given that Nick Saban has accomplished it all in the collegiate level, I know he's been to the NFL before with the Dolphins and it didn't really work out as well. But I heard the defense was still really good.
Right.
Again, so his philosophy did somewhat transfer to the NFL level. Do you think he will go back just to, it's like when you dominate something so well, it's like if you played against middle school kids in football and basketball, once you start dominating them, don't you get kind of bored of it and sick of it? So you want to take it to the next level and see if you're that much better.
Right. I understand what you're saying, but personally, I think no, because he is dominating and it might get boring for him now, but you kind of get used to it and you kind of expect it and you kind of get still kind of get like a good feeling every time you win, even if you're dominating every opponent.
Mm-hmm.
And so not only that, but I feel like if you look at his philosophy, especially on offense, it's run, 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 you know? And then they have their receivers are so dominant and so big they can just throw it up every time the defense is trying to stack the box, and then they can just get one-on-one coverage on the outside. It's like he had all these big receivers like Julio Jones. Like imagine Julio going up against like a 5'6" college corner. You're like 5'9" college corner, you know? That's like all day.
Yeah, but that's like, again, that's not exciting for
Right.
Nick Saban, I feel like.
Right. But I mean, if you look at the NFL now, it's transitioning more into pass, and then run just to get the extra yards when everybody is in pass coverage, is expecting the pass. And so I don't think his philosophy will translate well, just because the defenses are all so much more bigger and stronger and faster, you know, from the linemen all the way up to the safeties. And so I don't think it would work. And at the same time, when you go from winning all the time to losing, you know, at least half the time, because as a brand new coach, I'm sure you'd go to not a good team. Yeah, and so you have to expect losing. And so I feel like going from expecting to win to losing a lot, I feel like that would be too much to handle. And plus he's getting paid less. So
I'm going to say this. I feel like most sports guys, especially with someone as big of ego as Nick Saban, they're very prideful people. And I'm pretty sure there's people whispering in his ear telling him, you can't do the NFL level.
I agree. I mean,
it's gonna get into his head. He's gonna be like, I gotta prove myself.
Right.
People don't think I can do it.
Right. I mean, it would be fun to see him try to take on the NFL one more time, but I think that it's too different of a game now. You know, if he had tried to do it earlier in the 2000s, I think it might have worked out. But now it's just...
What if... So I agree. I think if he went to a crappy team, like the Browns or something, I don't think it'll work out. And I don't think he would even go there in the first place.
Right.
Even if they gave him the same amount of money as Bama did.
Right.
But what if he got the New York Giants job? So pretty decent defense. I mean, obviously, it's something that he can fix up because that is his strongest philosophy.
Right.
He has a quarterback in Eli Manning.
Right.
And Odell Beckham Jr. is there too. And so he's already had a pretty established team that's already proven themselves in the Super Bowl a couple times.
Right.
And NFC East is, I mean, I hate to say it as a Cowboys fan, but we don't have the greatest division. So even though the Redskins were, 9-7 this year, that could easily turn around and the Giants could be like the next 11-5 team to be number one, just like that. And so you don't think, and it's in New York, a big market. And I'm pretty sure they'll give him a decent amount of money. Do you think that would be enticing for him?
I think it would be enticing, but I think he would have to completely embrace a different offensive philosophy. Because if he tries to bring the Bama run game anywhere in the NFL, it's definitely not going to work. And so
unless he brings Derrick Henry over to the Giants.
No, all Alabama running backs are trash in the NFL.
Whoa,
they're all trash.
The hot take from Jason.
They're never going to pan out.
I think Mark Ingram says otherwise.
He's been doing well lately, but the first half of his career he didn't do too hot. Actually, he did well, and then he got hurt, and he kind of sucked it up. Now he's doing well again.
That's true.
But
that's a side point, I guess.
That is a side point. But you know, I think it'd be enticing. I would like to see him take it just to see if he actually is a good coach, or if it's just that he's just getting all the 5 stars in the nation to play against everybody else.
Yeah.
But you know, it would really be interesting to see. And I hope that he would take it, so I can make fun of him. But
oh, you're not a Nick Saban fan?
No, I'm not a Nick Saban fan. I grew up in Tennessee, man.
I guess that's true. That makes sense.
But yeah, I don't think he will. I think he's gonna be smart about it and keep on winning at Bama.
And then just retire at Bama.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I think he's already 62.
He's pretty old. Old.
I was shocked how old he was.
Yeah, he's gonna try and be the next Bear Bryant. But we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't go to the NFL within either this year or in 2 years, yeah, I'm pretty sure he's not going to go over at 65.
Yeah, and plus he just cemented a dynasty with this win I think this is his 4th title at Bama, and so
I think it's 5th.
Is it 5th
at Bama? I think
4th
it's
at
5
Bama
total.
and 5 total. So I mean, I don't think he's trying to go anywhere.
That's true. and he's trying to break that record. I think was it Bear Bryant, whatever, at 6.
I think Bear Bryant has 6. I think there's like 2 coaches tied for 6.
Oh,
But
is it 2? Oh wow.
I don't know, but I know Bear Bryant has 6, and he's trying to get that title. He's trying to get his statue up there.
You're right. He was not just in Alabama, but in the entire United States.
God.
NCAA.
Oh gosh.
But yeah, I guess that makes sense. I in the end, I hope he goes to NFL because I think it'll just be such an interesting story.
Yeah. Are you a Nick Saban fan?
Besides our boy Art Briles.
Yes. Besides our boy Art Briles, the best coach ever. Just kidding. I wish.
Yeah, again, like I said earlier, I don't really know much about college football, and because I think as a casual fan that doesn't know much, I can't help but be a Nick Saban fan because he's the most recognizable person.
I understand.
It's like how everyone in the WWE, people who don't know it, they just love John Cena automatically because
Yeah.
he's like everywhere.
Yeah.
But the true fans don't like him.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. But just moving on, we'll just skip over the dirty hits one. I think this pod's going kind of long.
Okay.
But we're just going to end our pod with predictions. So our predictions were kind of... Actually, they weren't that bad from Thanksgiving. The only ones we called wrong were the NFC East ones. You picked the Cowboys, I picked the Giants. And then... Yeah, I think most of them were kind of off. But instead of deciding who we think is going to make it to the Super Bowl, let's just pick, I guess, the games that are coming up this weekend.
Okay.
So... It is the second round of the NFL playoffs, and the first game that I have on my sheets, let's see, Chiefs and Patriots.
And
Patriots are home, and
right.
if you want to know the weather.
Weather's a big factor if you look at last week.
High is 40, low is 25, not too bad, but
like that.
Apparently it's supposed to be 100% precipitation.
Oh, gosh.
So it's going to be a big day for fumbles.
Right.
So who do you got? Chiefs and Patriots.
You know, I was leaning toward the Patriots, but now that you said it's 100% precipitation, I'm going to have to go with Kansas City.
Oh, wow. You're calling it upset.
I'm calling it upset. I mean, as much as I like the Patriots story this season, like all their receivers got hurt, and Tom Brady, once again, made a season out of nothing just because he's Tom Brady, and they got the number 1 seed. I think the Chiefs are surprising more and more people. You know, if you look, like Alex Smith is such a versatile quarterback. If you watched last week, he broke like a 60-yard run, but it was called back because of holding or something. But he broke like a 60-yard run.
He is really athletic.
Yeah, and I like Spencer Ware and Charkandrick West.
You know, Spencer Ware might not play, right?
Even better for me because I don't have him on FanDuel. But I mean, even without Spencer Ware, Charkandrick West, he usually puts up solid numbers when he gets the touches too. And their offensive line is amazing. And Eric Berry's playing at a Pro Bowl level after coming back from cancer.
Amazing story. He's
He's going to win NFL Comeback Player of the Year. Just saying. And, I mean, the rest of the defense is solid. Like, their 2 corners are solid. And their linebackers are always, like, looking for sacks. And they're always in the backfield. And so I think it's going to be too much for the Patriots, especially since it's going to probably rain or snow and they can't throw the ball too well. So,
well, I guess my counter argument, because I think the Patriots are going to whoop them good.
What?
Julian Edelman is expected to come back, and he has been practicing, of course, non-contact.
Right.
And apparently there's like a stat saying when Julian Edelman has been playing for the Patriots, they've been the number 1 offense. And when the time he's been out, I think it was about 4 games or so. They've been last in offense. So obviously, if Julian Edelman doesn't play, it's not going to look too good for the Patriots when they played against the Chiefs.
Right.
It's a great defense.
Right.
But Julian Edelman is expected to come back, and I'm expecting that Patriot offense just to go off. Especially Justin Houston still isn't 100%. I mean, I know they still have other playmakers in Dontario Poe and Tamba Hali, but I don't know. I think that's a huge factor. And then Jeremy Maclin also, he still has nagging injuries of his ankle. And if they don't have that deep threat, they could just triple coverage Travis Kelce. Not that they throw to him anyways, but...
Hey, he broke out. He had a huge game last week, man.
Yeah, but now that if Jeremy Maclin is not going to be a threat,
yeah,
they all need to watch out for Travis Kelce because Jamal Charles obviously is not going to come back.
Yeah,
and Alex Smith, as athletic and as the greatest game managing quarterback he is, he's not a playmaking quarterback.
Right.
And so I'm pretty sure the Patriots are going to win by more than 10 points.
Wow, more than 10
More
points?
than 10.
Wow. Do you know the spread on that game?
It says -5.
-5, and you're saying they're going to win by more than 10?
It's going to be a whooping.
Wow. Very interesting. Well, we'll have to definitely watch that game this weekend.
Okay, so next game will be the Packers and Cardinals. Cardinals are home, and it's indoor, I believe. So weather will not be a factor.
Who do you think is gonna win this game?
You know, I used to like to say the better quarterback is gonna win, because obviously Aaron Rodgers is the greatest quarterback, I believe, right now.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
But Carson Palmer has been playing amazing, so I can't use that argument anymore. So it's not Packers beating out Carson Palmer; it's the Cardinals beating out that whole shitty ass Packers team. I'll probably have to bleep that later. But yeah, I think even with the Cardinals, I know they have a few players out on the defensive side at least, like Corey Redding, the defensive tackle, Tyrann Mathieu. That's a huge hit as well.
Oh, that is.
But it's not like they need those defensive players against the Packers. I mean, who do they have to throw to? Devontae Adams, who's playing on like one leg, and then what's his face? James Jones, who can't even get open. He plays in a hoodie. Like he doesn't care. Like there's no threat on this Packer team. As good as Aaron Rodgers is, Fatty Lacy ain't gonna run over these guys. This is an amazing defense too. I think it will be closer than what the lines are saying.
Right.
Because it is Aaron Rodgers, and for some reason he turns it up in the playoffs.
Right.
But I think the Cardinals will win.
Right. See, initially I was thinking Cardinals like you, but after last week's game and what Green Bay did, I mean, I will never ever not pick Aaron Rodgers in the game unless it's like
the Redskins.
Unless everybody is hurt and there's absolutely no one to throw to, like there are no receivers on the roster. Aaron Rodgers just takes it to a whole nother level during playoffs, and I can't see him letting this team lose. Like he's gonna find a way to win.
Who's he gonna throw to? Because Randall Cobb apparently doesn't play receiver anymore. He was like on the backfield playing running back half the time.
I don't know. They're gonna find someone. They're just. I don't know, but I have a feeling that Green Bay's just gonna win. I don't know who Aaron Rodgers is gonna throw to. He's just gonna run the ball the whole time.
So you believe in Aaron Rodgers more than Carson Palmer throwing it to Fitzgerald, John Brown, Michael Floyd, and David Johnson, who's amazing.
Oh gosh.
I think he had like 60 points in fantasy. Was it like week 15 or something?
Yeah, that's crazy.
So you think that offense isn't going to be good enough? Because the Packers defense isn't like that great. I mean, they are pretty good, but
everyone thought the Redskins were gonna whoop Green Bay.
Yeah, that was weird.
But I mean, I don't know. I think Green Bay is gonna pull this one off. Surprisingly, surprise a lot of people.
Wow. So do you think it'll be close?
Yeah, I think it'll be really close. I think Green Bay wins by less than 7.
Less than 7?
Less than 7.
What do you think the final score will be? Like 21-24 or something
I
like
don't know. I
that?
feel like they're both going to put up a lot of points.
Oh, it's going to be like
I think it's
shootout.
not a true shootout, but I think it's going to probably be Arizona like 35, Green Bay like 38. I think they're going to put up a lot of points.
That sounds like a shootout to me.
I think they're going to put up a lot of points, surprisingly.
Oh, wow.
So don't pick Arizona defense. You're doing FanDuel this week.
All right, Jason.
I have no proof for that, but just take my word for it.
All right, interesting. I like it that we both picked different teams. So who do you have for the next game? Panthers and Seahawks.
Seahawks for sure.
Seahawks for sure?
Yeah, even though Carolina plays amazing at home.
Didn't you pick the Panthers to go to the Super Bowl?
I did, but...
In our last pod?
I did.
What happened? What happened to the change of heart?
I mean, I didn't know they were going to be playing the Seahawks. I thought the Seahawks were going to lose last week, but I was looking at...
so you think it's going to be a matchup problem?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a matchup problem because Seattle's defense is so good against the run, and they're pretty decent in pass coverage, and I don't think Cam Newton's going to be able to leave the pocket and scramble and break apart the defense as he usually does. And I don't know. I feel like his receiving core is depleted with a lot of people being hurt, and I don't think that Seattle's going to give him much room to throw the ball, and he's not going to be able to run the ball for first down or for yards to, keep the defense on his toes. And so I think they'll get after him. I think they're gonna sack him a lot, and I think Carolina's gonna get smacked real bad.
Dang, smacked real bad.
Yeah, because Russell Wilson is gonna throw to Tyler Lockett all day, and he's gonna be amazing.
Oh man, that's crazy. I actually agree with you.
Really?
I think the Seahawks. I remember I told you in my last pod. I think Panthers are gonna get out the first round or like the second.
Oh yeah,
round.
I remember that being really surprising.
And I'm gonna stick by it, and especially now that they're playing the Seahawks. Like I think everything you said was right.
Right.
Their defense is gonna be able to cover Cam Newton, cover the receivers, and they're gonna get at the quarterback. And Panthers, yeah, like it's depleted receivers. I mean, Ted Ginn probably will win the like most improved player because he's playing like out of his mind this year. Ted Ginn out of all people.
Resurrected career.
Yeah, but if the Panthers can somehow, because their defense is really good, but if they can somehow create more turnovers than the Seahawks, then I could see the Panthers winning. But Russell Wilson just takes care of the ball so well.
Right.
I don't see that happening. And if Marshawn really does come back fully healthy, which he's expected to, or it's like not really expected to, but it's leaning towards that, it just seems like this is another 3 years in a row the Seahawks are going to go to the Super Bowl, and they just seem unstoppable at this point. They had the momentum.
Right. Quick question for you. Is Josh Norman a shutdown corner?
Shutdown corner. I think
like Richard Sherman level last year.
I think for sure he's the biggest playmaking corner. Shutdown. I'll say with today's standards of other if we're comparing other corners, I'm gonna say yes. I would consider him more of a playmaking corner than a shutdown corner.
Interesting. Should we go to the next game?
Yeah. Wait. Before that, what do you think of Josh Norman? I think he's the best corner in this game right now.
I think he's the best corner in this game too, but I don't think he's as good as everyone thinks he is.
But I mean, who does he have to shut down on the Seahawks? Jimmy Graham's
Tyler Lockett, man. Tyler Lockett's amazing.
If he's on Tyler Lockett's gonna have 0 catches to that game.
Wow, you think so?
But I mean, I don't think he's gonna be on them the whole time.
Yeah, he's not gonna be on Tyler Lockett, but I think
isn't Doug Baldwin number one? I don't
yeah, Doug Baldwin's number one.
Is he number one?
Yeah, but Doug Baldwin's like a deep threat. But I don't know. I think Josh Norman is good, but he's definitely not on like Darrelle Revis back when he was Revis Island or like that level, you know? Like definitely not on that level, but he's a good corner. I mean, I'm not gonna like take anything away from him.
Yeah,
definitely earned his dues.
I think he's the number one corner in this league right now. Yeah, so let's go to the next game, the last game, Steelers and Broncos. This is a pick'em, so even with all the injury reports, I mean, I'm sure that's gonna change later.
Right.
Like down the stretch once we figure out more of what's going on.
Right.
But you know, Antonio Brown concussion protocol. It's like crazy that he's expected to play.
Yeah.
I'm not expecting him to play, but
did you hear what Pac-Man said about him?
Yeah.
I was like dumbfounded at first.
I was like, I think on an emotional side, I understood what he was saying because I get emotionally crazy like that too. It's like super irrational. But I hope he apologizes for those comments that he said of Antonio Brown faking his concussion. What do you think?
Oh God, I mean, I don't know. Just the way he fell when we were watching the replay, I don't think that you could fake that. But I mean,
and it's like, yeah, why would he fake it? Like,
but then again, the reports are saying that, like, I think it was like Monday or Tuesday when they had practice, he was like fine, and he wanted to practice. So I mean, that's questionable. That's like what you know.
I mean, doesn't every player want to practice even if they are diagnosed with? Because not like concussions, like they feel the symptoms throughout the week, right? Isn't it just mainly that day when the symptoms are showing, like
right? You'll be
everything.
Yeah, if it's really bad, you'll feel it like the next day after, but.
Because, once you have the concussion, obviously you're going to be more sensitive for another one.
Right.
And they're not going to know that. And they're going to obviously want to play.
Right, but you're not mentally 100%. You can feel it. You feel like a little foggy. And, like, you'll be like... You're not as sharp or clear thinking as you usually are.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you could feel that. But, I mean, the fact that, like... he's only listed as questionable.
Yeah.
Like...
I mean, there are players who still have played, even after having a concussion. Like just the previous week, but I don't know. Do you think he faked it?
I want to say no, but I won't be surprised if he says yes, just as a playoff game.
I'm pretty sure Antonio Brown's gonna play, but I'm expecting him to get another concussion that game. If he gets hit in the head.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
I mean, if it's a soft hit,
yeah,
I think he's gonna. It's too soon. It's too soon.
Who do you have for the?
But yeah, I mean, Antonio Brown concussion protocol.
Mm-hmm.
Big Ben shoulder is still nagging. We don't know what's gonna happen with that.
Right.
D'Angelo Williams. I don't know if he's still in the boot, but
I don't think he's gonna play.
I think he's still 50-50. There's just Broncos don't have any injuries besides Ryan Clady in the beginning of the year being out for the season.
Mm-hmm.
But Broncos are like totally solid, no injuries. I'm assuming Peyton Manning is good enough to beat the because Steelers don't have the best defense.
Right.
And if they have Landry Jones leading that team, we saw what he did in that playoff game. He had like 2 throws and one of them was a pick.
Right.
So that offense is going to lead that Steeler defense in such bad positions. I'm expecting the Broncos, with Brown and Big Ben out and D'Angelo Williams out, I'm expecting the Broncos to win.
Right. I mean, I agree with you. And Pittsburgh played Denver earlier this year, and it was Osweiler who played, and Osweiler tore them up. I mean, I think DT and Emmanuel Sanders had over like 100 yards receiving that game, and they had multiple touchdowns each.
Oh, wow.
I'm pretty sure Demaryius Thomas almost had 200. But
do you think Peyton Manning can do the same?
See, that's the thing. I was talking with Kevin Kim the other night, and I was leaning towards Broncos just because, like you said, Big Ben's banged up with his shoulder, and when he came back in the game, he couldn't throw past like 10 yards, and they have no run game, and Antonio Brown might not play. So I was like, for sure Denver. But then I was looking at the stats, and I was thinking, will Peyton Manning be like Brock Osweiler and just air it out, down deep? Or will he play more conservative and like audible? Because he's like the master of audibles. So we just audible to short routes all the time and just throw these little dinky short routes and just have them getting like 5 to 10 yards.
Yeah.
So I mean, either way, I still think Denver will win. But
did KK refute that?
He didn't give me a clear answer. He's just like, yeah, Denver's gonna win. I was like, what the heck? But I mean, yeah, I think.
Actually, now I'm thinking about it, even if Big Ben does play and Antonio Brown plays, I think the Broncos will still win.
Yeah, because he has a sprained shoulder, and so that's not something that you can get over really quickly.
Yeah.
And I don't see any way for them to win because they have Toussaint running the ball, and I mean he's not a well-known running back, but we saw him last week, and he wasn't, the absolute best against the Bengals,
I mean, good enough. I mean,
yeah,
I was shocked at his performance, but obviously not like a stellar playmaker.
Not enough to carry this team when Big Ben can't throw the ball.
And we know what Landry Jones can do.
Oh, God. Best quarterback ever.
He throws picks.
Oh, my. It might be a nasty, nasty game in Denver.
Yeah, I'm expecting the Broncos. I mean, because that defense is really good. And if they're going against Landry Jones and, what's his name, Toussaint?
Yeah, Toussaint.
They better, shut that down. And I know Martavis Bryant's a beast, but, I mean, I don't think he can be the number 1 receiver.
And there's got to be someone to throw the ball, just like Houston. So, how bad... What do you think the score is going to be for this game?
Oh, man, I didn't check the weather on this.
You checked the weather on this?
I'm assuming it's going to be really cold.
Denver's always freaking freezing.
I hate this whole tentative play between Brown and Ben, but I'm going to just assume they're not going to play. I'm going to assume Big Ben's going to play, but Antonio Brown won't.
Okay.
I want to say the final score will be Broncos 28, Steelers 20.
Wow, this is going to be kind of close. Like a one-possession game.
One-possession game, yeah. 20-28.
So what if Antonio Brown does play?
2028. But yeah, I think that concludes. I can't wait for us to watch the games. I can't wait for us to see Baron Davis play in the DLeague.
Oh, gosh.
And I guess we'll wait to see if Nick Saban actually goes to the NFL.
Yeah, it'll be an exciting year of sports.
Yep.
See what happens.
All right, well, thanks for coming on the pod. And Josh, I hope you come back so you don't listen to this fool.
Thanks for having me, Josh. Never come back.
All right, bye.